Hey, it's Paula Mahoney here, and today I want to do a quick video with you on why you should save, right? Or should you even be saving? Now, just before we get started here, if you want to learn in depth more about the topic of saving, make sure you go to rethinkmoney.com at any point to get access to our free training on this so that you can get into it in more depth. So saving, right? I mean, this is something that we have been brought up with, regardless of where you are on the planet. I think all parents tend to tell their children from a young age, you need to save. But what do they follow that up with immediately? Like they say, you need to save, and as a child you go, why? Why do I need to save? They'll say, well, for a rainy day. Now, depending on where you live in the world, right, like if you live like me in Ireland half the year, that means you're not going to be saving for very long because it's going to be raining if you just hang on a couple of hours, right? Now, maybe where I'm today, we're in Cyprus, yeah, definitely I could end up holding on to money for a bit longer. But what I found interesting about that whole discussion on savings when we talk about it at home, the plan for your savings is always to spend it. It's just a short-term delay on your spending ability and capabilities. Now, that's why some people really struggle when it comes to saving, because they're really like, okay, I'm just saving money so I can buy something else at a later date, and they don't really realize the loop that's happening here that's not going to get you out of the problem that you may have right now when it comes to money. What we need to do to begin to even think about growing wealth is saving needs to become an automated process, right? We really need to remove emotions from money and savings. So when money comes into your bank account each month, think of how you have organized what happens next, right? You already have pre-planned exactly how money is going to exit your bank account. Now, where else in your life have you got that level of certainty and automation? I'm guessing probably nowhere else. Imagine that. Think about this for a minute. When it comes to money, for most people, we have a plan in place to get rid of that money as soon as it comes into our bank account, even if we forget to spend it. Right? Where's it going to go? It's going to the banks for your mortgages, the banks for your car loans, your credit card bills. All these things that are set up as either direct debits or standing orders to automatically leave your bank account and go somewhere else. Now imagine if that was your plan for meeting your next partner. Let's say you were single right now and you're looking for a new partner, and you already decide in advance how you are going to dump your partner. Right? How long are they going to stick around? That's why money doesn't stick around. It moves from those who value it the least to those who value it the most. It goes from where it's depreciated to where it's appreciated, right? And that's a key factor that we want to understand with savings. If savings is what you do with what you've left over at the end of the month, that's not going to get you out of a financial rut. You've probably heard of the little book called The Richest Man in Babylon, where one of the key lessons in that is pay yourself first. And I can't emphasize strongly enough how important that lesson is. When you are setting up your direct debits and your standing orders, make sure that the first money that comes out of that account each month is to you. You pay it into your savings account. You're the person doing the work. You're the person that earned that money. Why should everybody else have access to that before you do? You should make sure that you get your money before anybody else. Okay, that sets a very important precedence as to how you're going to handle money. So that's the first step. You have to save in order to get rich or get wealthy. Saving has to happen. It also needs to be automated. Okay, so you remove the emotion, you remove the fact of thinking about it. It happens automatically on direct debit each month, and it starts to grow. The second thing you want to do is you want to let it grow. Right? As I mentioned earlier, we save in order to spend. If you want to get out of that loop, you save money specifically for those kind of things like holidays or cars, etc. But you also are going to have a pot of money that's purely saved for your financial freedom account, that you're going to allow it to compound, okay? Which means you will get interest on that, and then you'll get interest on that interest, and it's slow to begin with, Okay, it's very slow to begin with, but over time it starts to grow, and you get that kind of hockey stick growth curve with compounding. And compounding is unbelievably powerful, and I have further trainings on that within rethinkmoney.com that you can start to look at. But that's when you start to grow to a point where you can see your pot of savings growing. Now, why, you might ask, do I need to grow this if I don't plan on spending it? Well, ultimately you want to grow it to the size that just off the interest alone that you can cover all of your bills and your cost of livings. Right? So that just you can live totally off the interest. But you do need to first of all understand, how much do I need to get by and live on a monthly basis? Then you need to work out, well, how much of a primary principal, a capital, do I need to have in place so that just off of the interest alone that I can live off of that? That's when you can become financially independent, when you don't have to rely specifically on a job for income. But it's going to take time, and it starts with habits and creating routines. It doesn't matter how little money you have. What I suggest you do in starting saving is assign 10% of that every single month that goes directly into a savings account. It doesn't really matter to begin with what interest rate you're receiving on that, or because I don't want to overcomplicate it. First of all, just get into the routine or into the habit of moving it into another account that you don't touch, that you don't have access to. You're never going to spend this. It's just there to grow. No matter how old you are right now or how young you are, you're always going to wish you started sooner, but you can never start sooner than today. Okay, so get into that habit, set yourself up this 10% savings that's going to go into this financial freedom account of yours from now on. That's going to be the account that will ultimately set you free. And look out for future videos where I will be sharing with you, beyond that, different strategies specifically around what you do with the rest of your money, how do you organize it better, how do you go from saving to investing, and how do you learn to compound this at high returns of interest, but one step at a time. Right now, what you need to think about is, how do I set this up where at the start of each month I have a standing order or a direct debit in place for 10% of what I earn to go into a savings account that will be left untouched. You're not even going to notice this going missing, by the way. Pay yourself first, get on the right plan for savings so that you can move towards richness and wealth in your financial life very, very soon. If you found this interesting and you'd like others to share and benefit from this today, tag them in, share this, comment below, or feel free to like this also.